Hi, Lavern. Let's take a look and see what you have sent us today. The first one is your task 2. Online communication is more common than face-to-face meetings. Do the advantages outweigh the disadvantages? Let's see what you wrote. The phenomenon that people preferring using online communication to on-site meetings when dealing with working staff has raised concern over the last years. An increasing number of people support online communication. Due to the COVID-19, they argue that it is safe, while other people believe that face-to-face meetings are formal. Face-to-face interaction fits more for human connection needs. Personally, I would go for the electronic communication means. This lesson will discuss both issues using examples from the UK government and hypothetical reasonings. Okay, I want to clean up some of this grammar. I also want to point out that I thought that there really wasn't enough cohesion between these sentences. So why don't we try to just rewrite this together, okay? So the phenomenon of people, okay, the phenomenon of people preferring online communication to on-site meetings when dealing with work has raised concern over the last years. In fact, an increasing number of people support online communication, arguing that it is safer. However, other people believe face-to-face, what? While other people believe face-to-face, okay. All right, let me try that again. So they support online communication because it is safe. I don't understand this sentence really. And then you could say, however, face-to-face interaction fits the human need for connection more. Personally, not I would go for, that's really conversational. So personally, I support online meetings and I will discuss both views using examples from the UK government and hypothetical reasonings. I don't know what you mean by this hypothetical reasonings. How about just a personal experience or just use examples from the UK government and then full stop, okay? So that's how I changed this around a little bit. I don't know if you agree with my suggestions, but that's how I would recommend making this kind of gel together a little better. All right, let's see what you wrote. Since the inception of network technology, there is irrefutable evidence that it drastically makes the way people interact more convenient, specifically for remote working needs. Full stop. This is because instead of traveling to other places, workers can use online platforms. The convenient way of getting people to work together is more time-saving and economic. Furthermore, an additional benefit to online communication is that it is fit for the more flexible rhythm of working requirements. Okay. According to a survey conducted by the UK government, more than 60% of white-collar professionals like online more than face-to-face meetings, and 80%, not the 80% of the reasons, 80% of the reason is that frequent face-to-face meetings are more time-consuming. In contrast, online meetings get people connected, okay, either on time or in a timely manner, regardless of their locations, like workers receiving instructions and exchanging ideas instantly. I don't really understand that last section. These advantages make work highly efficient. Therefore, it is clear there are considerable benefits that make online communication not populous, but popular is the right word here. Popular in workplaces. Okay. Okay, so Okay, it's definitely developed. You had a lot of ideas. Some of them needed a little correction in terms of grammar. Mm, but I understand it. The next paragraph. Although the desirable features associated with electronic communication, no. Although there are desirable features associated with electronic communication networks, there is a good point that cannot be no, you don't want to say this. There is a good point that cannot be replaced by it. You want to say instead, the importance of face-to-face interaction cannot be overstated. That's how you want to say this, okay? So, face-to-face interaction is formal in professional sessions. I don't understand that. Why is that important that it's formal? You mentioned that in the previous paragraph too. So is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? I'm not really clear. For example, Huawei, the Chinese multinational technology company, corresponding to the COVID-19 restriction nowadays, requires newly recruited employees to participate in an on-site meeting for 2 weeks before they have to work at home. A questionnaire from Huawei notes that this arrangement is favored by the new employees because it makes them feel integrated into the workplace, singular, which is good for coordination as they later work online. Okay, so I didn't understand this thing about formal. So I definitely didn't understand where you were going with this. And like I said, you mentioned it in the previous paragraph as well. I thought your other paragraph was stronger. When you go in for like a work orientation, okay, great. So you do that once and then that's it. And then, you go home and you work online. And so I don't really think that this was the most relevant example you could have come up with because that's just a short thing while you're getting oriented to your new job. So I think it would have been better to maybe say something about, we talked about the importance of face-to-face interaction cannot be overestimated. So you could have said stuff like, before meetings and after meetings, a lot of bonding happens between colleagues, and this really creates a better team environment. There are a lot of cues, like nonverbal cues, that you get to see and pick up on when you're in face-to-face meetings, and a lot of this cannot be conveyed in the online sphere. So we really get a lot more information out of in-person meetings than we do online meetings. Okay, so those were some ideas that you could have talked about here. So I thought that this was a little overly specific, which is why I didn't really love it. I mean, these are online meetings. No, these are, face-to-face meetings for a very specific purpose. It's like a new work orientation. So I would have liked to see something else here. All right, so let's see your conclusion. Conclusively, online communication is more beneficial for work nowadays. Nevertheless, companies should require face-to-face meetings regularly to offset, you don't want its backside, that's the wrong word here. Companies should require face-to-face meetings regularly to offset its negatives or its drawbacks. I believe that more people will get used to it and companies will be involved in this trend. Which it? What it are we talking about? Online communication or face-to-face meetings? So that's really rather vague. Be careful with that because now we don't know what companies are getting involved in, okay? So I think that this essay is stronger than the last couple of sets, so good job. I definitely see you're improving. So let's take a look now at the German schools subjects. This is, I can tell you right now, too short. I see that you wrote 127 words. We're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about why and how you can make it longer. Let's see what you said though, okay? The pie chart shows a figure for 7 school subjects chosen by the most students in Germany in 2017. The 7 most, it's not populous. Populous has a different meaning than popular. You want popular. The 7 most popular subjects, not curriculums, are PE, history, maths, physics, geography, biology, and IT. We don't know that. In fact, I would venture to say that that might not be true. It's not that these are the most popular, but maybe these are the only subjects that these students have because you could definitely say that IT is not popular, okay, with only 3.7% of the votes. So be careful with this. So it should have said the 7 subjects scored, for example, are PE, history, etc., etc. All right, ignore that. We don't want this. All right, not at all. Okay, we don't care about the different colors. It could be anything, but this definitely should not be included here. What you could include here is your overview, and your overview should tell us the most obvious thing here. For me, the most obvious thing is that PE was the most popular subject and IT was the least, and that's it. All right, that's an overview, and then you move on to your details. PE and history are favored by most, no, not are, but were, it's in the past. Were favored by most students with 22.9% and 20.4% respectively. The following categories are Master Physics at just under 20% each. You want to say here, chosen by 19.5 and 18% of the students respectively. Fine. Looking at the information in more detail, we can find the least 3 subjects, not the least, the lowest 3 subjects are all below 10%. Good, that's nice, I like that. Biology was chosen by 7.1, geography is 6.4, and IT is 3.7. Okay, so the good news is that I liked some of the stuff you did here with your details, although it needs some extension, okay, because this is why you were only 127 words. Without an overview, you are not going to get a 6, so this would not score higher than a 5, okay? Because you didn't have an overview. Let's see. And I also want to talk to you about mechanical writing. Mechanical writing is when you don't do any comparisons, when you don't really do anything interesting with the data, but you just kind of present it like a list, like going down the row. So 22.9, 22.4, 20, 19.5, 18.1. So that feels really rather mechanical. So you do want to do some other things with this. Like what? Well, you could have said here, when you talked about PE and history, you could have said that the top 2 most popular subjects together accounted for approximately 50% of the popularity. More specifically, PE was the most popular subject at 22.9%, full stop. This was followed by history at 0.5% less. Okay, so do you see how I took what you wrote and I really just stretched it out? You have to do this with these charts that have very little information. I mean, this only had 7 pieces of data, so you're going to have to find ways to make comparisons, really kind of stretch out your answer, you know, group things together, but then stretch them out so you can have more to say. Okay, so that's my suggestion here. I really do want to see you writing over 150 words, okay? So give it a shot. Get started on your next set of essays. I'll be waiting to see what you write, and so good luck to you.